Okay. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to Games Real. I'm James and also The Brink, and we are one. So, today's not going to be a giveaway day, so I don't expect as many concurrent viewers, but we'll see what we get. I plan on doing the next giveaway. Let's make sure our audio works fine. I'm gonna keep an eye on chat this time, so don't worry. um, yeah, so I plan on doing another giveaway at 1,000 subs. Right now we're above 666, but we were at 666, which was a fun number, right? It's always fun. Hey, Esoteric Wolf. Hello, hi, 217. And then I believe there was someone else, but I don't see their name. It must have been before. So, yeah, today's agenda is going to be a little lighter this time. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, so I mean, just talk about the Steam Deck, talk about any questions you might have. I'll have more agendas that are set in stone in the future, as it's kind of fun to do these. I actually really enjoy doing these, and I know that like giveaways tends to attract more people to streams, and so I was a little cautious to do that from the get-go, to be honest, than the other ones. But I wanted to make it fun. I want to make sure that people are having fun, a part of the sub, and so I did it. Federico, welcome. Great to have you. So, yeah, I mean, there's plenty that's happening that we can talk about. I mean, I've been doing the response videos, and that's been fun. I even though I'm really nice in them for the most part, the last one was probably the meanest one, but it wasn't that mean. We'll see. I need to probably pause a little bit on those. 217. I'll just call you 217 from now on. Hi. So, yeah. How's everyone doing in chat? You know, you guys having a good day, good night, whatever time it is. For me, it's night. It's getting into evening. And while you guys answer that, I guess I'll continue chatting. So, Steam Deck news, there's not a whole lot. In fact, to be honest, I would say Steam, like, it's getting a little less on the Steam Deck news, and it's starting to mellow out a little bit, which is a good thing, as just, I really think it comes down to, the Steam Deck is what it is. It's nothing's really happening so far with like people's Steam Decks breaking often. There's a lot of games that are just getting supported more. There's more and more games that are getting supported, that is. And so I'm glad everyone's doing good. I'm so happy to hear that. That makes me super happy. And I guess I get to hear how good chat is and the community is with the Discord. So if you haven't gotten into the Discord yet, there's a lively bunch there. Esoteric Wolf was one of them, and also hi. And so it's pretty fun over there. So just don't venture into the NSFW channel. It can get a little raw in there. All good times, Wolf. All good times. So yeah, with the Steam Deck, it's looking good. There's more and more. I mean, that being said, a night/17. My order was after Q2, but now it's Q3. Yeah, after Q2. Mine was after Q2, which is good. Q3 is the best that could come from an after Q2, so that's good. It could have been Q4 plus, or after Q3, that is. So with Proton DB getting updated all the time, I will have to say there is one piece of news that I really haven't covered yet with Steam Deck, and that is the some newer versions of Proton are breaking old games that have already been verified, which is kind of going to come with time. Like, that's going to happen, especially if they don't have backfield tests. Essentially, they don't have tests that go back and test previous games when they do new updates. So if they've if they've checked a game in the past, they don't have any way of checking that game again. And it just has to be reported by people. And I think typically that's how it is with Proton DB. A lot of self-reporting there, and that's how we find out how good things are going. Night/17 is getting a 512 gigabyte version. You know what? That is a good version to get. That is a good one to get, man. So, yeah, that's a little annoying. So, like, games 6 months down the road could become broken if they don't fix that one caveat. So that is probably my only concern right now with the Steam Deck, I would say, is with Proton backwards compatibility whenever they fix a game, making sure that, you know, none of the newer fixes break older fixes, or older games, that have already been verified. It doesn't seem too bad so far, but I've noticed a little uptick in the community on that. Gultzer TC, you ordered 64 gigabyte on release day. I ordered 512 gigabytes 5 days later. We're both Q3. This tells me the 64 gigabyte is more popular. The data says otherwise, and Valve says otherwise. But they could have put it into the production line that 64 was going to be. Maybe they did the order early on, so they might have built more 64 gigabyte versions early on than they did 512s, expecting that to be the more popular, potentially. Once again, they had almost a year to prepare, so take that with a grain of salt. Central base boost. Yeah, those queues are crazy. Mine went from after Q2 to after Q3, so ended up buying one from eBay. Excuse me as I drink. Don't want to get too parched this time. Last time I almost lost my voice. I also did a bunch of videos that day too. So you bought one from eBay. Have you got it yet? How you liking it? Central base boost. I will say my video where I did that, I said I was going to go looking on eBay for Steam Deck, it got like a ton of dislikes. It didn't get ratioed down below 50%, and with comments and, you know, dislikes to and comments, it still was like people did not like that I even brought up eBay. But I hope you enjoy it, man. Either way. So yeah, with the Steam Deck stuff, like I said, it's really hard. You know, it's what, week 5 since I haven't had 4 probably since I haven't had a Steam Deck. So, you know, withdrawals are still happening. Withdrawals from something I've never had. Just the visuals, I guess, of watching it launch and not having it. Withdrawals from that potentially, but. Yeah, no, it's... Who else has got news on Steam Deck? Does anyone else have their Steam Deck on the way? I know the emails went out Monday. I wouldn't mind hearing if anyone got theirs. I know some people are going to have to wait until Q3, Q4, even later. And if you reserved this year, I will say don't cancel your reservation if you reserve this year. But if you reserve this year, I would expect to not have a Steam Deck this year. I wouldn't... Just so that your expectations are like plan for it in the like set the money aside, but like don't expect it to come this year, and then have it be a pleasant surprise if it does come this year. Central base boost getting delivered today. Ended up paying $1,000 for. I'll be honest, man, that's not a bad deal. He paid $1,000, or they paid $1,000 for a 256 gigabyte model. Better than waiting over a year, I guess. Yeah, that's not. I'd actually pay $1,000 for a Steam Deck. I know that's going to be an unpopular opinion. I am sorry, everyone, but I want to create content. To be honest, if it wasn't for the content, I wouldn't care about waiting an extra month or two. I mean, I'm really excited for my Steam Deck, but I was originally expecting to wait that long, like a couple of months. But then I started making more and more content about it, and then started enjoying this more and more. That I'm like, oh, I kind of want that Steam Deck now, because I really want to do a lot of different experiences and some things I haven't seen people do yet. So I would really like one in my hands. Justin, was shipping soon notification for the past couple of days. Oh, congrats, Justin. That's how this is going to be. We're going to do these live streams every week, and we're going to get everyone, like, just slowly we'll fill everyone in, and then it's going to be sad because then we'll hit the end of Q3, and like, most people that reserved it last year will have theirs. And I'm going to feel sorry. Hi. My Steam Deck is still a pile of sand and molten plastic. Yeah, that's probably true. It hasn't even been molded yet. The plastic is still sitting there. Dude, wait, why? Yeah, don't. Let's be nice in chat. I have not checked my local marketplaces. I don't think there's enough in circulation to get a used one. I mean, I do check online, and I haven't found anything yet. I found one for a Steam Deck on eBay for 1,200 for the 256 version, and that was really tempting. I just waited too long, and to be honest, I really don't want to pay scalper prices. I'm fine trying to create this content. Yeah, so some of us cope in different ways. It's okay. Yeah, we all cope different ways not having a Steam Deck, right? Some of us create lots of videos about the Steam Deck to cope. Some of us watch videos. Some of us chat with each other, like what we're doing now. So, the doubler. I'm Q2 for the 256 in Canada. Really looking forward to getting my Steam Deck. It's been a rough wait. These videos make the wait tolerable. Glad to see your channel grow like 600 subs in a month. Yeah, really, I just sat down. So with the sub, or with the channel, I really just sat down. I'm like, I want to actually make something successful and just do something fun. And so I started making various different videos. One being, it was around the time that the Steam Deck launched, and I like, well, let's do some stuff on the Steam Deck. There's accessories and stuff like that. And to be honest, I'm gonna have to do a react video and a response video on my own videos because I've gotten some stuff wrong with the SD cards. That's what I get for not really paying attention to one or two small but major details. And I will be making a new SD card video soon. I still stand by this card. It's not going to be your best one by far because it's limited. It's 150 megabytes a second read, which the Steam Deck only does 104 megabytes per second with a UHI or UH1 certification rank. So it only goes up to 140 megabytes per second. But I've used this thing in the Switch, and I'm pretty sure it's about the same specs. The SD card reader, that is, and it works great. I've downloaded games just fine. I haven't had issues with it, but there's better ones, especially if you want to run dual boot and some other, if you want to run dual boot and some other operating systems or just whatever off the SD card, then you'll probably want to go with a higher write speed. Okay. Universe Gaming. Honestly, if Valve releases the Steam Deck in Asia, it's a wrap in terms of sales. Pretty much any easy couple million devices sold, considering how huge mobile gaming is here. Yeah, actually, that's true. Asia, I believe the Asian market is one of the biggest mobile gaming, if not the biggest by I mean, it doesn't help that China has 2 billion people, and then you got India that's pretty much there. It's really big mobile. The problem is right now is I think Valve's testing the waters. They probably didn't want to go all in too hard. And so we'll see where production rates go at the end of this year. To be honest, they might, and especially if they're breaking even, then I don't see why they couldn't ramp up production and get those extra cells on Steam. But I would assume that they wouldn't want to sell the Steam Deck too heavily. If they're losing price on the Steam Deck, each Steam Deck sells in certain areas in the world, they probably don't want to sell them in those areas as much right now. Just the way it is. We'll see. That's the most interesting thing is the demand for the Steam Deck and the actual production levels are a little sad right now, but I'm really hoping that they ramp up. It's just, I'm sure it's a perfect storm. Shortages all the time. I mean, we can't even get video cards really, so really when it comes down to it, we'll find out with time, but yeah. China gamers only get to play 2 hours video games. Yes, that's true. I think I thought there were some exceptions to that, but yes, even so, Steam Deck perfect then. If you only get 2 hours, then it might even be better. Potentially. So, looking forward to you getting your Steam Deck, man. I'll be here for those videos. Hopefully we get it around the same time. The doubler. Yeah, thank you. Universe Gaming 13, exactly. Considering this is the first time Valve you actually manufactured a full device, not a peripheral, essentially accessory. I'm horrible at pronouncing things sometimes, so please forgive. It's too expected from them. The shortage really did not help everyone. Yeah, it's one of those things. Is it a shortage problem, or is it really like a Valve problem? Valve not, being maybe cautious. The Steam Machine did not do well. It really did not do well. But the Steam Deck, it's the perfect device for a PC gamer on the go. I don't think they could have made a more perfect device than what we got. I mean, there's always the videos I make where what I want, but there's a slight update to the Steam Deck website. What is this slight update? Well, give this a... Magnation, what's the slight update? So what's the update on the site? I probably should try sharing. Does this do anything? To be honest, I think it's a shortage. I think it's a shortage with obviously AMD and all the other massive companies having major shortages. Yes, it's true. I think one of the things that might help is that it's just using some older tech on the CPU side. So, but I don't know what that means for creating APUs, right? So, I'm hyped to play Fallout New Vegas modded with deck on an airplane. Yeah, okay, Night Slash, right on with that. I really like, so New Vegas is one of my favorite games. It's one of the games that would be really fun on the Steam Deck for multiple reasons. One, it's going to run fine, right? Even if I mod it to look nice, it's going to run great. And I can suspend and just really play to my heart's content on that. Universe Gaming 13, to be fair, the Steam Machine hardware was made by OEM, not by Valve. Valve was only going to supply SteamOS and Steam Controller to them, but we know how that turned out. To be honest, everything about it just didn't work. Like, look where they're at now with the SteamOS. It wasn't ready. It's barely ready now. It wasn't going to be ready back then. And plus, on the OEMs, yes, they did use OEMs. Valve was more hands-on in creating the hardware this time, but they still use a third party to fulfill productions and all that. So it still has a third party portion of it. They just designed the boards and the device itself, I believe. I believe the update was them just adding the months. Yes. So yeah, so if you go to the Steam store or your Steam account or wherever you reserve the Steam Deck, the updates are now into months, which is kind of funny. And it's probably because in response to my video, which I'll explain in a second. Hi. It could also be a logistics issue with shipping from Taiwan to warehouses because shipping by ocean freight, but I don't know if that's been resolved since the human malware situation. Yeah, there is, well, and there was also, I believe, another shipping container that got stuck, so. Yeah, so the updates to the website and to the queue system were mainly just to like add months in there, which is actually a good idea. Some people don't understand queues, and so maybe it can teach them, the quarter system of how many quarters there are in a year, including myself. But really, I made that joke like in a couple of videos ago where I was like, and then some might not get it until Q5. And it was the worst joke because it didn't sound like a joke, but it was a joke. Q5 would be the next year, Q1. I've been doing yard work with snow on the ground because I know it's not getting done with my Steam Deck shows up. Okay, Justin. Blue Speeder 0A. Actually, does anyone think it's worth it? I'm believing. Do you think it's worth it to get a 64 gigabyte from eBay for $800? It's just under my budget, so I wouldn't be able to get any accessories for it. I to be honest, the only accessory you really need, Blue Speeder, is an SD card. That's it. But I will say, like, if you can't get the SD card, then the 64 gigabyte version, as long as you're fine with putting one game on there that's not Call of Duty or like, there's a lot of AAA titles that probably won't fit on that 64 gigabyte version after you take into account the operating system. And also some other news is the shaders. It looks like pre-caching shaders and all that stuff, like some caching mechanisms for the Steam Deck really cause it to eat up some space. Like I'm talking gigabytes. So just be mindful of that, I guess. Not like it's the end of the world. If you have a terabyte SD card, it's not the end of the world, but just once again, keep that in mind. If I have a job enough money, I won't mind getting a 61. Yeah, so 800 for 64, I would pay it, but then again, I'm doing content on it. I have SD cards. I to be honest, I want a 3D. I actually know someone that has a 3D printer. I want to 3D print a case with a slot that lets me hold, and I can get a ribbon. The ribbons won't be too hard to get a ribbon for an M.2 drive, and tape the drive. I don't know, but tape like a larger M.2 drive to the case and then plug it in. And with I was talking to someone else. His name's Steamy on the Discord server that we have. Just as a heads up, we do have a Discord server. And if anyone's interested, I can post it in there. Or I guess, Wolf, if you know how to do it, you can always post a link in there. Let's do that right now. Sorry, I'm going to do that real quick. Yeah, so if you want to join our server, it's there, and we'll have interesting conversations about the Steam Deck there every once in a while. One of them is the speed for the SSD and the SD card are very similar, and we believe the SSD's power consumption is reduced by quite a bit. That's why it doesn't have. It's probably another reason why it wasn't as important to get the 2280 version, like the bigger NVMe drive that I mistakenly mentioned in another video that I did early on this. Yeah, but yeah, definitely shout out to Steamy, because I really think what's going on, even if you put a 2280, where I'm going kind of with all this is if you would put a 2280, which is a bigger, here, I have so much crap on my desk. This is the enclosure right here, and this is about how long the drive is about how long that is. And to tape it to the case, you could get a bigger drive attached. You might have to bump out the case, meaning that's what I'm kind of meaning is like if you get the back casing printed, a new one, if you can get it done right, you can make a bump that could put a M.2 drive, not an enclosure, but the drive that's inside of here, tape it to it, and then use a ribbon, and then put the casing back on, and then it will make a little bump on the back, but you could potentially add more storage, like a 4 terabyte to, I can't remember, it's 4, 6. I can't remember what the range for a 2280 is, but you could do more. Yeah, so Maganation, it's really amazing what Valve has been able to do at such a competitive price point. I really think they're losing money, or they're barely making any. And in this type of hardware market, it wouldn't be worth it if they were just barely making any. They're obviously making money off the Steam store. Like they make, I think, between 20 and 30% on their on sales and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how the other consoles do it. That's why this feels a little bit more like a console, but it's Valve. They give you more options, which is why it's my favorite. But like my PS5, my Xbox, those systems don't make money typically. Maybe now they do, but usually when they launch, they don't, and then they do make money over time. I believe Valve is just going the same way with this. Yeah, so Queltzer, no, the speeds are not the same, not even close. The speed for loading a games is similar, but installing, downloading, or anything that requires multi-channel access will be snail on the SD card. Yes, I'm aware of that. I mean, I've used them on mobile devices all the time. I'm not unaware of that. It doesn't bother me that much. That's why, in the end, yeah, you should try to get the best you can get, but I really think we get a little bit caught up on some things that maybe sometimes don't matter. Depends on you. If you're planning on downloading and installing a lot, awesome. I don't. I plan on downloading games onto my SD card and then not removing those games off my SD card. I plan on buying multiple SD cards and just writing to it maybe once and then keeping like using them like cartridges, right? So I can swap them in and out. I just don't plan on removing stuff. So for me, read speed is the most important thing. And so, yeah. Yeah, they're definitely, so Tyler, they are definitely losing money on the 64 gigabyte one, maybe making a little on the other two. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, if you look at the price differences, it's definitely, they're making money on that highest one because the essential SSD doesn't cost that much more for what they're doing. Yeah. Yeah, but to have it made, that carrying case by a manufacturer probably costs them $5 maybe. So they're probably not losing money. But I agree, they could be making money off that carrying case. But it's a portable device, and what portable device doesn't come with a carrying case like that? Where you won't need a carrying case. So they really solved your problem, because when you buy a new portable device, you usually need to get a carrying case. They solved that for you. There's only one. If they came with an SD card, like a 256 gigabyte, they might have solved most of the accessories you'd need to get for this device. Universal Gaming. I feel like the Valve release in the Steam Deck is just to answer the question, can we play PC games on the go in a handheld form factor and have a good enough experience? It could be. Talons. Tyler McVicker made a Steam Deck video saying he doesn't trust Valve to support it for long due to how they abandon projects quickly. What's your thoughts? Yes, he is so he started out doing Valve News Network, right, and some other stuff specifically with Valve and Bethesda, and I actually quite like him. I think I followed him since he started his YouTube. Essentially, he's interesting. I'm a huge Valve fan, so that's the reason why. He's become very cynical over the years and very much does not trust Valve. And I hear that, to be honest. Let me move my cord here. I don't want another buzzing sound to happen. I even did this in one of my videos. I don't trust Valve if the project's not looking well. So if it's not going to look well and if it's not going to do well, then I don't trust them to fulfill any additional promises per se, which isn't good, but at least they do more than any other game company. I feel like that's big. But like Half-Life 2 was supposed to get a third DLC or a third episode, and it didn't. They did not fulfill on that. But their first two episodes didn't do that great. They were good, but I don't think they were up to their quality. Like when they released it, like, this is good, but this isn't Valve good. And so I think they're going to support. I think they're going to have to support it for a little while, but it doesn't mean that like in a year or two they'll drop it. Doesn't mean that. I mean, everything will work on it still. Even if they dropped it today, you'll still have over 1,000 games that are actually. You'll have over probably 2,000 games at this point, almost, that's playable. So really, when it comes down to it, even if it's dead now, if it's dead on arrival, they essentially say, we're kind of done, we're sick of this. They could, I believe, I don't know if Proton's open sourced or not, but they could open source it and have the community handle some of that. And a lot of it is just mapping APIs and stuff for the graphical layer. It's part of it. And there's more to that. Just simplifying it. Yeah, so you can even contribute. Welcome. Thanks for Yeah, so you can even contribute, but I don't think you can write code per se, but you can report. So in that system. Hello, Wendy. How you doing? Justin, RDR2, Halo, MCC, Inscription, Outer Worlds, Psychonauts 2, which to play first? Bought them all for the deck on the winter sale. Nice. And that's another thing. If you're like later quarters, then just think of it as like hoarding those games, waiting for those sales. We're going to have probably at least another sell or two, right, before the end of Q3. So that's awesome. Or there's the Humble Bundle that I did a video on. Go check out that Humble Bundle. That's an awesome set. Halo doesn't work really well or at all, like unless I think you're playing in Windows mode on the Steam Deck. Excuse me. Red Dead Redemption 2. I still need to play that one, so I'm gonna say Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's see. Let's double check that works. I need to show my screen. I'm just too lazy. I believe Red Dead works. I believe it talked about this, but let's make sure it still works because I know they're having some issues. It's gold status, so it has some issues, but it's for the most part works. Slight performance problems. Slight hitching on SD card when the thing loads and fixed by playing on the intro. So it sounds like it's best played on SSD or use a command line for it. But yeah, that's totally me. Red Dead Redemption 2. I need to finish it. I started again and finish it. That's one of my gamer sins I've committed in the past. Universe Gaming. Valve started Proton since 2018, so that's around 4 years, I guess. Yeah. But as things ramp up, they can get. It's amazing once those mapping and those drivers, really once they get going, they might have increased productivity with improving each game. To be honest, that's my assumption, because I think Proton it's a translation layer, and what they're essentially trying to do is translate, I believe, a big portion of it's DirectX, and I think if it's Vulkan, which these are just graphical API layers that game developers and game engines use. I think if it's Vulkan, it's pretty easy to convert it over and it will work most likely. DirectX 11 and 12 and even older DirectXs, I'm sure, will need additional mapping into the Vulkan system potentially. So, yeah, I think as they get more and more mapped, I think we're going to see a higher amount of games compatible. And we've already seen a pretty good amount become more compatible. When's the closest Steam Deck's coming? So the Steam Decks are already coming out right now. Q2 starts in a few days, so that'll be exciting. Central Base Boost. What do you think about people using the Windows to go to dual boot Windows and Steam OS at the moment and using the BTRFS open source driver to use on Windows to be able to use games on both OSs? To be honest, I don't know much about that one yet. I haven't looked that far into that. Into that open source driver to use on Windows to be able to use on games on both. Yeah, so sorry. If you have some news articles on that or some articles or whatever it is for that, I'd be happy to look at it and do some more stuff. I've been going down some other routes of like trying to answer some other questions for some of my videos and also emulation. I'm doing a lot of different research, but I didn't look into that one too much. I did hear about it though. Yes. So, I might have missed someone else's questions that, when I went off and stuff. If you have any more questions and if you need to repeat it and it wasn't answered, just throw it on in the chat. Yeah, I haven't. Let's see here. We could probably pin messages even to answer the questions, but yeah. So really with this, yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't know enough about the Windows to go stuff. But you're more than welcome to let us know in the chat. We could flip this around. I could start asking chat questions. You can answer me. Like, when am I going to get my Steam Deck? Can you answer when I'm going to get my Steam Deck? I'd like to know. Okay, I'll stop being a jackass. Which I guess I'm not. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Yeah. So I see the Steam Deck as possibly the best device for dual booting Steam OS. And okay, yeah. If we're going to talk about dual booting. I need to see better Windows drivers, obviously. Oh, watched Fox's video on it. Apparently there are only 3-second delay between using it on Windows and Steam OS. Oh. The 3-second delay between using on Windows. Okay, that's interesting. I'll have to go watch that. Yeah, so thanks, Wolf. Hopefully, soon, hopefully. Um, yeah, I'll have to go watch that video. I haven't kept up on some of these videos more lately. If you haven't noticed, I've done response videos that are just, I need to, I need to stop doing, I guess. I don't know. Start doing response videos on my own videos. The battery life of the Steam Deck depends on the settings. Yes, it does. Setting is it really, like the base settings. I'm really curious. I want to really do a field test on that when I get my Steam Deck and just see what the default settings really look like. I'm assuming that's what they did in the reviewers. I'm assuming, like, Elden Ring gets about an hour and 40 something minutes at default. But if you tweak those numbers, force it to be 30 frames at all times, maybe even lower that TDP down, you could really ink out a lot of time. I get about 3 hours on Red Dead. That's really good, Kirk. Wow, Kirk gets 3 hours on Red Dead. To be honest, that's some people are gonna scoff at that. I think that's really good. That's what I get on my Steam or on my Switch. I feel like with some games I even get lower than that. And I do have one of the newer Switches technically. Like I bought it a year or two, like 2 years ago, but it's not the old version. Central Base Boost. People have been using Rufus Windows application to install Windows 10, 11 to an SD card and using that method to dual boot Windows on a deck. Looks quite good, to be honest. Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, on a low setting. I think that's the recommended for Red Dead, is on the low setting. Anyways, or at least what I've seen. Mr. Toaster, hello. I just oh yeah. Oh, I haven't seen anyone subscribe. Yeah, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We do fun stuff every once in a while, like giveaways, and we have a Discord channel where it's really fun. You can join the Discord channel. We get a lot of cool stuff in there. Cool people, awesome people, to be honest. But yeah, if you subscribe, I'll shout you out if I know. Okay, let's get back to you, Mr. Toaster. 5,000. Hello, I just joined and I just want to ask, can you plug an external SSD HDD to the Steam Deck? Yes. Yes, you can. From my understanding, you can plug one in. I haven't seen anything to say others, and I've seen some people do it, so I can safely say yes, but I'm always cautious because I haven't done it myself. I always want to do it myself so I can give you, like, yes, anecdotal from me. Yes, you can. Yes, I plan on actually getting a dongle that has either some type of hard drive in it, whether it be an SSD, NVMe, or just, the regular laptop size, and doing an extra base station off that, because I think I'll start doing my streams and recordings off my Steam Deck, and then using a capture card to do all this. So Justin, my Switch feels like a girl I'm breaking up with while waiting for my deck to show up. Yeah, I know. That's kind of how it is for me right now. Like, there's so many games I need to play on it, but I'm like, I know I'm going to be getting my Steam Deck soon, and I just need to hold off. So all I've been playing really is like Back 4 Blood on my computer when I just stare at my Switch right now. I do know that I have access to an older version of the Steam Deck, or the Switch, that is, and so I am definitely going to get my games and be able to put them on my Steam Deck. So that's another thing. I want my Steam Deck. I want to play my Switch games on my Steam Deck really bad. Let's see. Central Base Boost, same here. I do this a lot on... Yeah, I'm really interested. So if you're interested in seeing me make a video in the future, or my responses to things like that, you're more than welcome to go into the Discord channel. Not the Discord server. And there's a channel called Yummy Food, which you can go see all the yummy food that the community eats. But the request, there's a request section and video requests. You can throw down a video request. I would not mind doing some type of Linux, Windows, just test, switching between Windows and Linux. To be honest, I haven't ran Linux in a long time. I used to program off of it for a while though, so I'm actually excited to get back into the whole thing. Doubler. I've always loved the sounds of consoles starting like a Game Boy Color and Game Boy Cube, etc. I'm glad the Steam Deck has a startup sound. It's simple but important. Hey, I think that's actually so important. Um, oh, yeah. Sorry. So Discord didn't get notified that we're doing this. Yeah. So I'm a little ADHD, so don't mind me. I get distracted a little bit. Um, yeah, I think it's really important. I really, if you want to truly convert those Switch people, mean take, you have to have that startup sound for it to sound like a real console, and then you can convert Switch people and console people over, because then it becomes a true console. No, but really, I 100%. I think it's polished. I think it's good. I like the startup of the Steam Deck. I think they did a good job. Elden Ring, you can get easily 3 hours and 30 minutes, and it feels very smooth at 30 frames per second. I don't mind it at all. What setting though? So you have to, your frame rate limiting, which I'm, to be honest, I am totally fine with frame rate, setting my limits to 30. I mean, that's what a lot of games like needs to do in console games at that frame level. Oh, and then setting the watts to 8. Okay. Central Pace Boost. Being able to use the same SD card for games for both OSs and for there to be only a few second delay in booting the games up cannot complain while waiting for Valve to open up the dual booting proper. Yeah, I'm really surprised they've taken this long. That's pretty easy when that's usually baked into. I guess it's from on the BIOS side, right, where you'd have to handle the dual booting. I'm really kind of surprised that isn't available yet. I'm assuming they went with a pretty standard board. Universal Gaming. The Steam Deck startup sounds really good. PS2 level of goodness. Yes, and that's in his honest opinion, so you can take it as that. Yeah, no, it's... I think it sounds great. I'm really excited about it. I think it's kind of funny that's what we're talking about, but hey, I'm all for it. Kirk says pizza. I love pizza. Thank you, Kirk. I love pizza too. I don't know if he likes pizza or not, but he did a pizza emoji. And now it's just making me hungry. To be honest, there's some like Steam Deck is perfect for indie games. I agree with that, but there's also some games that are AAA that I want to play on it actually quite a bit, and so yeah, God of War alone looks like it runs really well. I want to play the hell out of that game. The best, you know what? I think I might agree with you, Super. The GameCube jingle is the best. It might be. I did like it quite a bit, and I just like the way it laid out that cube. The thought of the Steam has take over my mind. Yeah, I'm addicted definitely when the Game Boy was my only handheld gaming device back in the day. Yeah, so just Mr. Gamehead is addicted to just thinking about the Steam Deck, essentially. Tyler, the narrative behind the battery is kind of dumb to me. Literally almost every gaming laptop on the market will last 90 minutes with most AAA. 3 hours running Red Dead is amazing, not a bad thing. Yeah, I agree. And that's like some of the videos I responded to in the past. Some of I responded one today, so I don't know how far in the past, but if you want to count a couple hours, I guess that counts. Yeah, it's amazing how that's the number one complaint. People obviously didn't play the Game Gear. That required 6 AAA batteries and would run for like an hour if you were lucky, I feel like. This does a pretty good job. I obviously we all want to hit that like nice 5 to 6 hour mark, but I've heard people say the Switch does that, and I don't think I've ever gotten that on my Switch, but I'm sure it's happened. I play a little bit more intense games on there though. Yeah, Elden Ring really is like, it really, because I have a gaming laptop, I cannot play on it that long, really, and so it's amazing that Steam Deck can do that. It really is. I really think that's a good point. Tyler said, oh, also Elden Ring was set at medium. Okay, nice. Do you think central base boost? Do you think game companies such as Activision, etc., are going to start developing their games with Steam Deck in mind, especially with the anti-cheat complication coming into play? With there is no reason that the anti-cheat system can't work on Linux, and in fact, most of them can run on Linux fine. The problem is that I think they want control, or I just think they want control. I don't think they want things to happen a certain way. I think they're cautious right now. It really comes off more of a corporate business level than it does like a software level. But once again, maybe it's the security department said, hey, we just don't know with Linux. We want to make sure, but I don't think so. I really think with those companies, it's control right now. Epic especially, right? Because I mean, they could even get it to probably figure something out to get their Epic game stores to work on Steam Deck fine, which from my understanding, you can install it with certain installers and stuff like that. It's not like you can't play Epic games on your Steam Deck. It's just it has to be Linux compatible, or I believe compatible with Proton. I think there's ways around that too. So you can add them into the Steam UI and then set their settings to the Proton as the emulation layer, I believe. Super. I have a Brink. Well, I'm glad you have a Brink. Keltzer, dual booting is possible. Valve hasn't released a wizard yet, but there's so many ways to dual boot a computer. Yeah, there's a ton of different ways to dual boot a computer. Typically, I do it at a BIOS level. Like, I install two, and I can select between the different drives or whatever you want. I guess there's a bunch of different ways. So I'm just getting into semantics now. Universe Gaming. Man, kind of wish some companies, not talking about Valve or gaming companies, figured out how to mass manufacture solid state batteries so that we can have better battery life in mobile devices. So yeah, solid state batteries, there's a lot of new battery tech coming out very soon, and we're going to see it in like the Teslas and all that. But yeah, we're going to see it really soon. I bet you Steam Deck too, especially with everything that's going on in the world. Everything's going to be pushed to batteries, man. We're probably going to see the biggest increase in battery tech development in the next 10 years just from what's going on in the world, as long as the world's still here in 10 years. But we're going to see that because I really think we're going to be getting off oil as soon as we can. Doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, but we're going to see it happen. So I really think we're going to see much better battery life. And then with the new APUs that AMD's working on, the Zen 4 and the RDNA 2, or 3 actually, I think is when it will come out. When they would have access probably to an RDNA 3 GPU chipset for the APU. With those, they're the 5 nanometer tech, and so depending on how they did it, and it really does depend on how they did it. It usually produces less heat, and it produces and you can usually get better performance out of it, right? So you can still do more, like you can still up that performance and then maybe output the same amount of heat, but certain thing, including electricity used to run the APU. So in reality, with maybe that next APU chipset, we might see lower wattage usage. So between that and a battery, doubling the battery. Because I believe the new solid state batteries are supposed to double the battery amount, meaning, or like the lifespan, I'm not saying that right. Essentially, you should get double the battery charge. So instead of, let's say, with Elden Ring, you can get 3 hours, you could get 6 hours. I mean, one of those is like, I always hear double. I'm like, but really? But in the end, I think between that and the new APU with the Steam Deck 2, I think we could see some really amazing battery improvements and get like, I'm going to regret saying this, maybe 10 hours. That'd be so sick. I know some MacBooks are getting some pretty good battery life, but they're not playing games or anything intensive at those levels of battery usage. Sorry, now I'm looking at chat just to see. Central base boost. I know Valve had a lot of issues with VAC back in the day with Linux. People were able to go onto Linux and never get detected because their AC wasn't able to detect or work on Linux. Yeah, but I agree. I think more and more of them do work now. And I think there's people that say, yeah, like I think Easy Anti-Cheat or something like that does work on Linux. It's just I think that's a company decision. Once again, I think so. Getting back into that topic, I think we're so early on, and the more the deck sells, the more we're probably going to see people or companies supporting it. I mean, CD Projekt Red already has a Steam Deck preset in Cyberpunk 2077. There's images. They with their newest update, you can go to the presets and select Steam Deck as the recommended, which is that's so cool. I'd love to see that in more games, and maybe more games will support it. I think Steam Deck is going to be the biggest gaming hardware to come out this year, to be honest. The problem is fulfillment could kind of kill the Steam, that steamboat of a Steam Deck. It might kill its propulsion, and we could see it maybe fail. I don't think it's gonna fail per se, but it's definitely on bounds. I think on track to be like the best gaming device to come out in a while, just because it's just so different. Universe Gaming, it would take the stars aligning themselves right at the perfect time for the Steam Deck 2 to have a solid state battery instead of lithium. I agree. I mean, I agree. Don't get me wrong, but I can wish. That's why I said I might regret it, but who knows? Like I said, development is going to pick up, I think, in a lot of these areas. So, yeah. The Steam Deck might run out of steam. It could. It really all depends on Valve continuing support on it, which I think they will. I really see that they're like, even to this point, they're still doing it. They're really wanting this to be a thing. So I really do see it being the biggest thing this year. I wonder when those graphene batteries will be consumer ready. Imagine having a phone that will last 3 weeks. This is from Tyler. Yeah, agreed. Like, there's so much tech that's going to be coming out. It still needs to be tested. Like, you hear about some new tech, you're like, oh, sweet, we'll get that soon. It's, a lot of R&D has to happen to make sure, especially with batteries, where literally can blow up in your lap, potentially kill you. Yeah, you got to be careful with that. So, let's see. Yeah, you would think Epic would follow Fortnite to work, allow Fortnite to work on the Steam Deck. So the problem is that right now, to be honest, if Fortnite works on it, the more support Steam Deck gets, even if we don't like Fortnite, it's still good for the community and the ecosystem. The more it's going to be a viable option to, get rid of your console and use this instead. Central base boost, but they said they would never support it because it doesn't feel confident about its ability to combat cheating in Fortnite when running on a custom kernel configuration. There's still cheats for all these things. That's the funny thing. That's why I think it's politics, is that there's still so much cheating going on even with anti-cheat systems. So I really don't think that's. I really think it comes down to they don't want, like, even if they say they're never going to do it, they're still going to like. We'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of options still in the future between community trying to get it to work and all that, but we'll see. I think some of these companies will backpedal and get it to work on it eventually. Just got to make sure the devices, works and is successful, and that's where we need to make sure we fulfill those reservations, right? Universe Gaming, Half-Life 3 is announced in time for the Steam Deck's worldwide release. That would be so cool. If that's the case, why is Fortnite on Android, which is based on Linux? That's true. Android is a custom version of Linux, though. It's not quite the same. They have a lot of they essentially made it so that it's a lot harder to hack and all that. I'm not saying you can't, but I think I believe for Android they had to do a lot of security layers to get that to allow certain even companies to put their apps onto it. They had to do that, so it's a little different. If Valve does that for Linux, maybe, but I don't want them to do that. I want Linux to be like, it's an immutable system right now with SteamOS, meaning you can't install stuff that's beyond what they've already recommended. But yeah, Epic congratulates Valve with gritted teeth. Oh, yeah, they is never a way to stop cheating. It's always going to be a cat and mouse game when it comes to cheating. Yeah, central base boost. Yeah, really, I really think Epic Games doesn't want to do it because they're a competitor now, like full on. They don't want to they don't want to put their games on Steam because they don't want to lose the money. They had the whole legal battle with Apple because they don't want to pay the 30%. I actually kind of agree. 30% is a little extravagant, but we also have to remember that these stores will always allow for downloading and keep your key, keep everything, whatever it is, that needs to happen for your game is all included on these stores. So a big one is downloading. If you download a game multiple times in the lifetime of that game, it's not like they can charge like 1 or 2%. They might not make that up, but yeah. Yeah, so Epic really, they could still support it. I just know that Steam doesn't really have an issue with Epic, from my understanding. It's Epic has an issue with Steam, and that's one of the reasons they created their launcher. And to be honest, I actually like their Epic game store, partially because they give me free games all the time. So I will install the third party for my Steam Deck, and hopefully some of the games will become Proton compatible. But because I have a bunch of free games. Cyber, I don't know if you've seen those clear cases for the Steam Deck on Amazon. They're plastic, but I'm hoping someone will make one out of aluminum or stainless steel shell. I would definitely buy one. Yeah, so, and then Wolf's like, oh yeah, Cyber, that would be sick. So, it's like I'm having a fun time reading everyone's conversations. Yeah, I am a little hesitant on the early days of accessories for the Steam Deck. One, the market is just not there for Steam Deck accessories, so I don't think the quality is going to be quite there. And also, if you're making accessories for a Steam Deck, you might want to wait off a little longer. Maybe not. Maybe you want to make it now so that, when people really start getting it, they're buying it. It's just, we'll probably see as people get Steam Decks in hand, we'll see an acceleration of accessories on Amazon. With the clear case, I can almost guarantee you, depending on how many systems are out there and how much the market wants to buy stuff like that, that's really what dictates if we'll have more. We could easily probably see something like aluminum or some type of different colored plastic casing for it. With those clear cases, I'm not usually a case person. The only one that's ever looked good is the Switch Killer to me. I know some people might not agree with that, but I really like the way that one works. But you have to remember, it most likely won't fit in your soft case or your hard case, that is like the carrying case that comes with the Steam Deck. So yeah. Well, the moment Fortnite stops making a lot of money, Epic will change their tune easily. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we'll see. Solid gold Steam Deck. I don't know if I could do a solid gold Steam Deck. I don't know if I could do a chrome one. I'd get too distracted. It's like the cars that drive around with the chrome or gold or whatever. Essentially, colors. I can't do that. That's what D-Branch should do, is a car skin. You got to know the size of the screen protector because I had to thought 3 before I got right one. D-Brand, to be honest, if you're getting a screen protector, I know it's going to cost you a little bit. I'd recommend going with the D-Brand. It's the one that I know that works. All the other ones, unless you have a brand that someone's recommended that's used, are just a crapshoot. Cyber, yeah, I've already bought a screen protector, a silicone case, and a micro SD cards. I just got to wait until after Q3. Nice. Congrats. No problem. You can hold it. You can hold the little case in your hands and just imagine what it'd look like. Maybe hold it up to your computer and just play, pretend like you're playing a game with the game running in the background. Not all Chrome, of course. Okay, Wolf. Yeah, no, I couldn't do all. Maybe. Yeah. I'm trying to imagine what part would be Chrome. Maybe. I'd have to see it, to be honest. Chrome and black? Okay, I could get behind Chrome and black a little bit more. A red Chrome Steam Deck. Wow, it sounds like there might be a market for that. So, I mean, if you're thinking about doing accessories or any type of fulfillment, uh, maybe go down the accessory route for Steam Deck. So yeah, um, I know that we're pretty much all here for Steam Deck, but anyone excited for Witcher 4? I did forget to mention that I wanted to talk about games a little bit as this game's revealed, and that game was revealed recently. Well, at least additional stuff. Yeah, so Witcher 4. I know a lot of people have a really sour taste from Cyberpunk 2077, but I think they're going to fix a lot of their issues with Witcher 4 being on Unreal Engine, which is not going to be unique, specific to the Unreal Engine or the Unreal Store, or the Epic Game Store, that is. N64 color Steam Deck to go with my Nintendo Switch. Hey, actually, that sounds kind of cool, but the gray. Oh, well, now I said that sounds cool until I realized the gray. I hate the old gray. I hate how electronics were cases, everything. There's so much stuff that uses crappy gray that just made it feel so dated. Super is excited for Kirby. I'm not the biggest Kirby fan, but this new one looks pretty fun. I'd definitely play it on the go. I'm not gonna spend the money on that price for the Kirby game. I just couldn't do it. I just don't think I'm gonna. Maybe I would like it. I don't know, but I don't think I'd like it enough to pay top dollars for. Yeah, and then Wolf also wants Witcher 4. I wonder who is the main character in Witcher 4 though. I think it's gonna be potentially, well, it's either there's gonna be a shootout to or what am I trying to say? I believe there's gonna be at least one Witcher game that's gonna have Ciri potentially. So it could be Ciri, but it sounds like it's gonna be a new school, obviously. So it's gonna, I mean, that's what they showed. They showed the medallion in the beginning, so it's gonna be someone from the Lynx or the School of the Cat or something like that. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. I wonder if the new Saints Row will work on deck. That's a company I wouldn't be surprised if they got it working on there. Witcher 4 sounds awesome. I think it's going to be a female main role. The story, yeah, 100%. I do think it's going to be Witcher 4 is going to be a female role, and especially since there's rumors of the, what I believe the school, one of the School of the Cat or something like that, allows for female Witchers. So potentially is what I was reading into. So the only accessory I am interested in is the trackpad sticker for traction, since that seems to be an issue. Justin, yes, to be honest, any skins or traction systems or accessories like that, it would be awesome. I totally get those, but to be honest, skins look cool. Okay, Ren Cup, will you ever expect the Steam Deck at retail stores? I don't think so. In fact, with the way Valve works, they have to work with a third party to get it into stores. So, usually they'd have a distributor that would fulfill that. Maybe their current distributor would. Ooh, okay, that's cool. The Discord has a Chrome Chrome and black. Yeah, okay, I agree with that. So if you were on Discord, which I do have a link in here, you can ask for a link again if you want to join our Discord. But that Chrome black looks awesome. Or the black and white. I have seen the black and white Steam Deck. That looks sick too. Okay, I need to stop looking over there and continue answering this. What was the question again? I gotta find it again. Oh my gosh. Would I expect it in Steam retail stores? Yes. So we have to get through the fulfillment. We'll see in a year. They're going to have to get and fulfill all these reservations. There's no point in having it in the stores until reservations become manageable. they're killing it with the reservation system alone. Consoles aren't even in the retail. You can't go up and buy a PS5 at a store almost ever, unless there's some fluke it comes in, but then people are going to rush in and get it usually when they find out. Thank you, Wolf, for that invite. So yeah, I really don't think it's going to be in the retail store in the next year. Maybe 4 years down the road, when supply issues are all fully resolved, it could be. If it starts to slow down enough, I'm sure Valve will, and if it's still being supported and all that. So definitely, I think that it's not going to be in the next year or two. I don't think they're going to be in retail stores. It just doesn't make sense right now. Okay, Universe Gaming. My only worry is how will the modding support for Witcher 4 look like since it's now Unreal Engine 5, hoping they release full modding tools to the community. So Unreal, I don't know about Unreal 5, but Unreal 4's engine has really good modding support. There's a lot of games that have mods and ways to mod the games. In fact, they open sourced Unreal Tournament. Like you can go and create stuff for that. I'd actually say probably the modding is you're gonna have more people that know the Unreal Engine than they do the Red Engine or whatever way they'd have to mod the Red Engine. Unreal Engine is drastically better than the Red Engine in my opinion. Essentially just the launch of Cyberpunk alone, really, that was the one thing I caught on when that launched. I'm like, yep, they don't have a great game engine. For people that don't know, I'm a software engineer. I'm an indie game developer, so I wouldn't put myself at like pro level yet, but I do have a lot of years, like 12 years of experience in development. And I can definitely say them going to the Unreal Engine, yes, their engineers are going to have to learn that engine, and it's probably going to be a little difficult in the beginning, but in the end, I think a lot less bugs are going to come from it. And they're going to have support by Epic. Epic's going to help them. Like, I think Epic really wants Witcher 3. I'm pretty sure there's willing dealing going on to get Witcher 4 on the Unreal Engine 5 because that thing looks beast. And I think Epic really wants it to push it to be like the Epic game, the Epic engine, right? It's the Unreal Engine. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing in the end. I think mods are going to benefit greatly from it, just from my experience using the Unreal Engine. Central Base Boost. What do you think of the new Hogwarts games? I haven't seen actually much new footage for it, like, or trailers or whatever it is. I actually quite like Harry Potter, but we'll see with the Hogwarts game. I'm not 100% sold on it. I do have kids, so maybe I'll play it with them. So there's a good chance I could potentially play it with with one of my kids. I mean, they're small now, but by the time that game comes out, right? Maybe give it a couple of years, maybe. Super. Are you excited for the new Street Fighter, or has the recent news from the Capcom changed your mind of them? I actually don't know the new recent news from Capcom. What is that? I've been focusing too hard on Steam Deck lately. I'm always down for a good Street Fighter though. I really love the old school one, so if they can make it feel like the old school, I'm always down. Silverhand, 1X player versus Steam Deck. Neither. Switch all day. Yeah, I don't know why you guys are coming to the Games Revealed for Steam Deck stuff. This is a Switch channel, and Switch is by far the best. In all seriousness, between the two, I'd choose Steam Deck, to be honest. For multiple reasons. Valve supported. I do like the 1X player, but it's just the price, the performance. I think 1X player is still going to do good. I still think the other devices are going to do well. I don't think, but their chances of breaking out and becoming major, like, well-sold devices might have been cut short because of Steam Deck. And maybe this just never was. Like, that is a more premium product where once you get into the thousands, I start to think maybe you should get a laptop over a portable device. But it depends. It depends on how much, what you're going to use it for and how much money you have. Steam Deck, though, I think wins the 1X player. And I think, yeah, just hands down. My opinion, though. Other people are going to have different opinions on that. The Witcher is on Netflix. Think there's 3 series. There's 2 series. Oh no, yeah, 3 series. I see what you're saying. Okay, there's 2 seasons for the regular Witcher, and then yeah, I think there's two. I don't know if there's 2 series. There's 1 series and a movie. I don't know if there could be another one there. Um, Yep, Silverhand's after Q3. I'm sorry, man, but hey, just hold on. So that's what you were asking for. Okay, I get it, Silverhand. So you're asking because you're thinking about maybe getting the 1X player. If you already have a gaming PC, or if you plan on doing a lot of traveling, then maybe 1X player is the best choice. Or a Switch. You could, if you buy a Switch now, you could probably sell it for not much less. By the time you get your Steam Deck, there's a lot of options. The problem is investing, I guess, in also your ecosystem. That's a big part of that. Like when you get a Switch or get another console while you're waiting for the Steam Deck, you're investing in those ecosystems. So when you switch over to the Steam Deck, you're gonna have to buy a lot of those games again. I definitely just recommend trying to invest as much into the Steam ecosystem or just the PC gaming ecosystem as soon as possible. Let's say you have to buy a computer. Yes, there's going to be some extra money spent up front. Like instead of getting a $400, $500 system, you can get $800 system that actually is pretty baller. But you're investing in this, like, games alone. After like a year, you're gonna save that money. That's one thing that people don't understand. If you follow the sales on games on Steam and on Humble Bundle and all these other sites, if you follow those sales, you're gonna walk away much better buying a PC at a decent price than you would a console, in my opinion. So, and you don't have to pay for a subscription. Yes, you get free games with that, but you don't get to choose. So I think that's kind of a knock on that. I've actually seen some Xboxes in store, not PS5 though. Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S. I heard that the Xbox Series X can stand on the shelf for a quarter a day, but it usually goes pretty fast. Xbox Series S is the ones that I don't see. Can get on the shelves for a little bit. Oh, and welcome to the server, Cyber. Cyber joined the Discord, so welcome. Central Base Boost. They released a 14-minute trailer. Expected release date is end of this year. Okay. I will go check that out. Yeah, I don't like it. Looks interesting. When I saw, is it it's the Hogwarts game where you get to play, like, choose your own character. Like, you're not playing as Harry, you're a wizard. You get to actually create your own wizard and play, right? So build them up. Hopefully you get to use more magic than in the movies, because that's like one of the biggest problems with those movies is that they have all these spells that they never use. And that's not really a big hit on Harry Potter. I do quite like the atmosphere is amazing. So I am curious about the game, and hopefully it's portable. It's supported on Steam Deck, so it's portable. Supers. Capcom has made it next to impossible for small tournaments to run Street Fighter V, as they're asking for massive sums of money just to have. Oh my gosh. Oh, these companies really like to shoot themselves in the foot. Yeah, so if they're asking for money to run these like massive amount, like, they're selling the game. Isn't that like good enough? Selling massive amounts of the game, like, if you can make it popular enough where people want to do their own tournaments, like, that's a good sign. That's how you sell money. If you start making it prohibitive to not be sold, you're gonna lose more money. I don't get it. Justin spent $200 on a year's worth of winter sales games when that gives me 2 months of entertainment on Switch. Yeah, exactly. And if it even if it's that too. So thank you, Free Salt. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of people are really excited about the Hogwarts game. And I'll say, from what I've seen in the past, I thought that they were going a really cool direction. And I do have a lot of people in my family and potentially even extended family that likes Harry Potter. So there's a really good chance I'll be playing that when it comes out. I just need some games I don't keep an eye on. I feel like that game is one where I thought it was going to be pushed back further than it is. So I'll get back into looking at that. I'll look at that trailer. You're more than welcome to join the Discord server, by the way, and drop the trailer if you want, or I can find it later. So that's another thing we share. We have a sharing and caring channel for sharing stuff with each other. Oh, yes. Thank you, Esoteric Wolf. She's amazing. Yes, make sure to bash that bell with your crowbar, but also the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to subscribe or let other people know. And I'm always happy to make content for people too. Like in the sense, like if there's something you're interested about, go to the Discord and ask. It's a great place. You can even ask in the comments. Oftentimes I'll probably read. I read most comments. I just have a hard time getting to all the comments. Gotham Knights. Any of the Batmans are amazing. Actually, okay. We have to do another little research session here. So Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year edition is silver, and then Batman Arkham City is gold. Awesome. Excuse me. So it sounds like you have to do some tricks to get them to work, but they can work. So if you're a console gamer, maybe it's a little off-putting for that. But for anyone that wants to kind of get into running their game with special commands, then you can play the Batman series. I love the Batman series, so I'm really excited to play actually Batman's on it. That'd be a really good game on the Steam Deck. Let's get me excited now. Esoteric Wolf, I'm hoping they will, Justin. I've seen blue and orange ones. People, okay. Then so you're talking about the colors. Yeah, colors will be awesome on the Steam Deck. What do you think of the new Pokemon Brink? Is it too soon for it, or is this breath of fresh air as the series needed? I do apologize. I do not follow Pokemon very much either. I hope I don't offend anyone. I'm gonna start having a browser readily available. Because if it's the newest one, like the one that's open world, that thing was a little sad, but I don't keep up on the Pokemon stuff too much. I do apologize. Atomic Age Gamer, hey, I watched your response to that guy on his couch. I thought that your measured response was spot on. Thank you. Yeah, it's doing react videos and response videos is kind of weird. I like doing it, and to be honest, it's fun. It's just fun to sit there and drink my coffee while I watch. It's easy enough. But I don't want this channel to be a react channel. But I want to do it every once in a while. And maybe even with trailers. If there's a trailer I'm more excited about, maybe I'll do that. Silver Hand. Yes, I am working on a game. Thank you, Wolf, for helping with these answers. I'm going to figure out a different way to get questions for getting questions so I can answer them easier. Are you an indie developer? What game did you work? Okay, so I'm an indie developer, and I'm a greenie indie developer. I've done a lot of development, just not a lot of game development. I've built games that I've never released in college and stuff like that, but I am currently working on one at bunnystrike.com. You can check out like the early access, and I haven't updated with the newest screenshots from the game in a couple of weeks because I've just been so busy doing the game, this YouTube channel, that I'm still working on the game. Just haven't had time to do social media pics for a little bit. No, it's a new main Pokemon series, one that is also open world. Well, hopefully it's better than the last one, because that last Pokemon open world game was garbage. It looked like a 2000s era open game. Let's see. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm gonna have to wrap up here soon, chat. I usually try to do these for about an hour, but you know me. I get really distracted. I also will have it so that I can show what I'm looking at in the near future. So looks good. It looks a lot better than the last one. It looks like a Mario game meets Pokemon. It's perfectly what it needed. And I don't think it's too soon. I think they need to give everyone a discount on the last Pokemon game and give them this one, or just give this one to them for free. Yeah. Yeah, check out bunnystrike.com. You can also I wouldn't say, you can subscribe, but I'll promote that later down the road, so you can always subscribe. But if you want to keep really truly keep an eye on what game I'm making, the best way is to make sure to sign up on Discord and also subscribe to this, because I'll post updates on this channel with my game updates when I get a little bit further. Atomic Age Gamer, for sure the cascading reactions can become a little silly. Quick question: how does the Steam Deck platform or perform for basic stuff like photo or light video editing? So I want to put so light video, I think it will do just fine with light video editing. In fact, there are YouTubers that have already, with their Steam Deck, created, like, they recorded the video and stream of the podcast that they did with it, then edited and uploaded it all on the Steam Deck. So and I watched it. It seemed fine. It seemed like they did good. For heavy, yeah, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't expect to run Adobe Premiere on it. That thing's kind of garbage, to be honest. Graphics on Poppin were rough, but it was fun for a while. Yeah, I could see it being fun. If you really like Pokemon, I could really see that that Pokemon game being fun. Yeah, so, but like for photo and light edit video editing, I think it'll be fine. It just depends on if you're used to some software on Windows and you don't want to put a cyber. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, but I can't fully say. I just know that people have done it and it seems fine. But with the video and photo editing, you're going to be using different programs if you're using the SteamOS. So just be aware that you won't be using Adobe Premiere most likely, and some other ones. Like you can even use one that I use, which is called DaVinci Resolve. I use the free version of that, and it's pretty awesome. But I just don't think you're going to be able to use. Maybe even that one might not run. I know that I got some laughs in the comments about me wanting to use that, and we'll see. We'll see. To be honest, we'll see. It'll be interesting. The Steam Deck is definitely not as powerful as some of us think about it at times. It's just they're optimizing things really well. Cyber, will your game run on Steam Deck once you're finished with it? Funny enough, it's Unreal. I'm using the Unreal Engine. I totally use Valve's engine if they actually would really Source 2 with decent tools. Thank you, Esoteric Wolf, for getting all those links up and everything for everyone. Yeah, I'm going to make sure it runs. And I'm even in the Steam system, you can request a Steam Deck. I'm like, hey, I'm making a video game. Can I get a Steam Deck soon? I'm pretty sure I'm last on list, but maybe by the time I really have some really good footage for them, they'll give me a Steam Deck for free, which I don't know if I'd need one by then, because, yeah. Chris Lee, what month did you order your Steam Deck? I ordered it day of. I had changed my order on one of them. So I have two reservations, technically. I have a friend that I reserved one through their Steam and then one through my Steam. And I'll both day of, but I'm Q2 and Q3 on both those. Yep, DaVinci Resolve is amazing, especially as a free program from Atomic Age Gamer. Yes. 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 Yeah, like I said, I'll be doing more and more updates on my game. So if you're more interested in my game, yeah, I'll have more updates as time goes on in Discord and YouTube videos. So as long as you make sure to subscribe and bash the bell with your crowbar, you're gonna get updates. And so, yeah, and I've talked about it in past streams, and I'll continue to talk about it in future streams. My game, it's definitely one that's interesting. I'm not gonna probably pollute this channel too much with it, but as I get major updates, I'll update more often. Thank you, Esoteric Wolf, for letting me know that I don't have to thank you. Thank you. So yeah, there's links in the chat. This has been fun. I'm gonna have to start wrapping this up. Any last minute questions, anything that I might have missed that you want to throw into the chat real quick, because I need to get back to creating some videos. Price for my game, with inflation and everything, it's gonna be at least $90, at least $99, maybe $110. I don't know. We'll see what the AAA market's looking like. So my game will probably be priced between $10 and $20. It's gonna be a 1 hour experience where you have to repair a spaceship that essentially breaks down. It's gonna be first person, and about a 1 hour experience, but it should be fun enough and replayable enough that $10-20 should be, I'm hoping, a good price. But I'm gonna do a lot of price studying and stuff like that. So I'm going to make sure that I price it at a reasonable price. I'm hoping is to springboard off that game and make my uh make my next game off of some of the revenue from that. So whatever gets me to that point is what I'll price the game, I'm hoping. Yeah, so no more questions, huh? Yeah, and everyone thank Wolf. She's been amazing. She's a moderator for both the YouTube and on Discord, so she's awesome. Hopefully I don't embarrass you too much, Wolf, but you've done a great job. And oh yeah, let's hope we all get our Steam Decks really soon, right? Chris Lee, how do you know what quarter you're in for your Steam Deck or the list? Knowing which quarter, you just need to go to your Steam store. So when you did the reservation, you can go to to the Steam client on your computer or on the website, and all you have to do is, to be honest, I actually don't know how to get to it from my account. I'm sure there's like a little area where there's like reservations. I just look up Steam Deck and go to the Steam Deck page, and it will tell you your quarter. Mine says Q3, July through September, but that's for the 512 gig version, and I have another one that's, yeah, the 256. That's going to be here next quarter. Yes, you're more than welcome to keep on chatting over in Discord. We do chat, like I'll even jump in chats. We have events over in Discord where we do remote plays, where we stream and watch stuff. In fact, we might watch some, who knows, movies, trailers. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a watch party sometime where we can all watch some trailers, some game trailers. That would be really fun, and chat about it. So as we get bigger, that will be more reserved to specific roles. But we gotta grow things. Um, yeah, and we jump into audio chats every once in a while. There's a lot of cool people from the Netherlands, people from Hawaii, and all that. I'm not going to say who's from where, but it's a lot of cool stuff. And let's see, yes, hopefully they get a bit of help with productivity, and we'll see. Yes, let's just all cross our fingers and pray to the Lord Gabe and to bring us better productions and bring those production levels up, and let's get our our Steam Decks much sooner. Okay, guys, that is it. Sounds like we're kind of winding down anyways. Let's move this conversation to Discord, and thank you guys for joining. This has been a fun stream. I'm going to continue doing these. Maybe I might actually start asking for some agenda pieces in the Discord. So, make sure to jump in there. And if you have questions, ask them early on. If someone specifically asks a question and it's like, I want you to answer this in the stream, let me know. I'll note it in my agenda. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming. And this has been awesome. Let's continue doing this. Catch you guys later. Peace out. Later.